Everyone's pretty hurt, emotionally, mentally.
An urban oasis could be bulldozed and turned into duplexes. Passionate gardeners say this isn't a fight over flowers, but a battle for the city's character.
The world is on fire and we are losing green spaces, wilderness areas, parks, and now we're losing this, which is something that was always supposed to remain an urban garden for Denver.
Plus, high wind fuels a flurry of fire activity across the state, and a surprising number of Coloradans relying on credit cards just to scrape by.
And first tonight, Denver and Boulder will see their restrictions on universities put to their first test this weekend because of COVID outbreaks. We have breaking news just into our newsroom within the hour. The city of Boulder announcing it is moving its last call to 10 p.m. and that takes effect tonight. Last call is 11 p.m. for Boulder County. The city also banned all large gatherings for people ages 18 to 22. Boulder police issued 35 warnings last night, didn't write any tickets, and students we talked to last night were not happy.
That's kind of shocking, right? That like you could be policed for just, for this conversation alone. Like I could be fined.
Denver is asking universities to keep students in their dorms as much as possible. About 5% of coronavirus tests in Denver are coming back positive, and the mayor said yesterday that he hopes the new regulations reduce the positive test rate.
Colorado State University quarantined 2 entire dorms today after finding high levels of COVID in the wastewater. Students in Summit Hall and Braden Hall are not allowed to leave or have guests, and they will have to do their classes remotely.
And our state reported more than 700 new cases of coronavirus today. This is the highest single-day case count that we have seen since August 5th, and the highest during our current post-Labor Day surge of virus cases. And the number of hospital beds in use by coronavirus patients remained relatively stable. 248 beds are in use tonight, 10 fewer than yesterday and far below total capacity. Denver Urban Gardens is planning to sell a piece of green space in the Highlands neighborhood, and the payday is worth more than $1 million.
The nonprofit says COVID crippled its finances. The sale could save dozens of other gardens, but the people who love the El Oasis garden call it a mistake and a broken promise. Denver7's Sloan Dickey reports.
You can really focus on the sounds of nature here.
El Oasis Community Garden got its name for a reason.
You'd hear crickets, almost the quietness, the peacefulness of this place.
A garden paradise, abuzz with the sounds of nature doing what it does best.
Recently, we also just harvested about 50 pounds of honey.
Growing a community.
You can see how much space this takes up versus the houses over here.
The garden has grown a human community as well.
This is my plot, this whole bed this year.
Donated by a Denver family in 1988, the hope was this land would never be developed.
Denver is experiencing explosive growth that is positive in many ways, but it was such a relief to me to know that this place would always remain this sacred green space.
But these garden fences can't keep change out forever.
We were told that they were going to sell the garden.
Paradise.
We have 3 weeks to take all of this out.
Lost.
Everyone's pretty hurt, emotionally, mentally.
Denver Urban Gardens is selling 2/3 of the lot to Caliber Construction. The company will build new homes on the land.
I feel like it's a loss of community and history.
The organization says hard times like this mean tough decisions need to be made. Telling Denver7 the money raised from this sale will help maintain its 181 green spaces across Denver. But as this garden makes way for new development,
Once this garden is gone, it's gone.
the gardeners here worry
It can't come back.
some things once lost can never regrow.
There's more value to this land than building duplexes.
Sloan Dickey, Denver7.
Some homeowners living near the Cameron Peak fire in Larimer County were ordered to get out today.
The message warned of imminent danger, told residents to evacuate as quickly as possible without stopping to grab things. The new evacuation comes on a day when tropical storm force winds fueled this fire's growth. More than 800 people are working day and night to try to get it under control. And we received so many calls from people who said they could see this large cloud of smoke in Douglas County this afternoon. The fire's out now. Castle Rock police say it burned less than an acre in Rampart Range, but the heavy smoke could linger for quite a while.
The man believed to have set off explosions in a Longmont hotel last night is in the hospital tonight. Longmont police say at least one officer shot Leon Gladwell through a hotel room window after the explosion. The hotel had other guests staying there.
my friends actually were like running around the Residence Inn, and they came back and they were like, "There's a SWAT team out there with rifles and stuff like that, with guns." And that was when I really realized, like, oh shoot, this isn't just a fire. This is something a lot more than just that.
Well, it turns out a jury convicted Gladwell on murder charges back in 1998, and he was out on parole at the time of last night's incident. Charges have not yet been filed. Opening statements in the Drayon Deering trial are scheduled for Monday, and Deering is the man accused of murdering Adams County Deputy Heath Gum back in January of 2018. Deering told police he didn't remember anything from the night of Gum's murder. Records show he refused to consent to a DNA swab, and police found shell casings matching his gun and a pay stub with Deering's name on it, all at the crime scene.
The president is not announcing his Supreme Court pick until tomorrow afternoon, but multiple outlets report tonight that Amy Coney Barrett will be his nominee. Barrett would become the court's youngest justice at just 48 years old. She worked under Justice Antonin Scalia before joining the 7th Circuit Court of Appeals, where she currently serves. And 3 Democrats voted in favor of her confirmation there back in 2017.
57% of people believe the winner of November's election should be the one to pick Justice Ruth Bader Ginsburg's replacement. This is according to an ABC News poll that was just released today. And the same poll shows the economy is the most important issue to voters this November.
A recent poll showed John Hickenlooper with a lead over Senator Cory Gardner.
You know the ads are constant out there, and pro-Hickenlooper forces have been spreading the same message about Senator Cory Gardner for months now. It's based on the hope that Coloradans have no appetite for a politician who shares the opinions of Donald Trump.
Denver7 investigator Jennifer Kowaleski found the latest attack ad on Gardner doesn't tell the whole truth.
Peanut butter and jelly, 2 things that go together.
Political attack ads are as American as, well, peanut butter and jelly. And the latest attack on Cory Gardner from the Senate Majority PAC uses not only staples of the American diet, but very common criticisms of the senator to make their points again. But are they on point?
Gardner and Trump gave trillions in tax breaks to corporations and the wealthy.
Truth be told, Gardner did support the Tax Cuts and Jobs Act back in 2017. It did lower taxes for nearly everyone. The richer you are, the bigger the tax cut. It also reduced the corporate income tax rate, meaning corporations and the wealthy certainly benefited the most. The total tax cut was $1.5 trillion.
And just as cream goes with coffee, Gardner stood with Trump and voted 9 times to eliminate health care protections for people with pre-existing conditions.
Gardner has voted consistently with Senate Republicans supporting Trump's efforts to repeal all or part of the Affordable Care Act. But truth be told, some of those votes were on amendments and procedure only, and more than half of those votes happened before Trump took office. Publicly, Gardner has stated he supports coverage for people with pre-existing conditions.
Like macaroni and cheese, Gardner stuck with Trump 98% of the time.
Like the ultimate comfort food, Gardner has been very comfortable with Trump's agenda. But, truth be told, he has not been quite as comfortable as the ad would have you believe. 538.com noodled the Gardner numbers and finds he has voted in line with Trump about 89% of the time, not 98%. Truth be told, while both sides keep offering voters a continuous diet of ads, once you bite in, you realize there's almost always at least one critical ingredient missing. And that is certainly the case here.
SMP is responsible for the content of this ad.
I'm Denver7 investigator Jennifer Kowaleski.
The search team looking for clues in Suzanne Morphew's disappearance did not turn up any relevant evidence on day 1.
That is according to the Chaffee County Sheriff's Office. The second day of searching just wrapped up this afternoon.
And in about an hour, the Salida community will hold a vigil for Morphew. Her brother told us he hopes this event is joyful.
Anyone is welcome, and there should be some light music there, so it should be a joyous occasion. And thank you to all the volunteers and all the people that are helping a stranger on a mission.
Morphew's brother raised more than $10,000 in support of this weekend's volunteer search. They will be out every day between now and Tuesday.
State leaders could vote on 2,000-foot setbacks for oil and gas wells before Thanksgiving. If this passes, any new oil and gas wells will have to be built 2,000 feet from homes or schools. And that would be the strictest setback rule in the country. The Colorado Oil and Gas Conservation Commission passed the setback rule in a non-binding vote just last night. The final vote is November 6th.
The Mountain West Conference, which includes Air Force and Colorado State, announced today it will play this fall. They joined the Pac-12, who announced a fall start last night, and it's been a busy few days for fans of football at all levels. Colorado's high school teams returned to the practice field just last night. And the Broncos will have fans in the stands for the first time all year when they host the Buccaneers this Sunday at 2:25.
About 5,700 people are allowed inside. The team put a limited number of half-price tickets on sale at 10 o'clock this morning. They sold out in half hour. The pandemic is taking a toll on all of our finances. We know that. Colorado is actually #1 among the United States for reliance on credit cards. 2 out of every 5 people borrowed money in the last week to pay a bill or meet an immediate expense, according to census data. Experts from the lending tree say our state's high housing prices can put families in a bind. They warn that financial stress is commonly tied to mental health issues.